This is a Collider.com audio interview.
Absolutely.
Are you happy to be able to finally talk about the movie?
Well, I am happy to be able to talk about the movie as much as I can. But it's still, you know, obviously a few secrets are out now, so I can discuss certain things, but quite a few things are still under wraps.
Did you check out the reaction yesterday to the photo getting online at all?
I asked people to check it out for me. It's a little overwhelming.
Can you talk about just sort of stepping into the shoes of such an iconic character where so many, it's been such a kind of a defining role for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people grew up with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, Julie Newmar before that, and Eartha Kitt. Like, it's been a whole span of people. How does it feel to kind of be Catwoman?
Well,
How daunting is that?
I mean, it's an honor. The first thing you have to say is what an honor. And it was funny for me because when I got my start, you know, I kind of got my big break in a film called The Princess Diaries. And during the press for that, everyone asked me, did you always want to be a princess growing up? And the truth was, no, I wanted to be Catwoman. And I think a lot of young women feel that way, probably a lot of women in general. And the fact that I am actually her is such a dream come true. It's such a pinch me moment, and the fact that I am Catwoman in Chris Nolan's Gotham to Christian Bale's Batman is unbelievably cool.
How's the character being interpreted here that's different from his previous interpretations?
I'm sorry, specifics?
Well, as much as you can say.
As much as I can. Ooh, Esme, help me. She fits into the Gotham that Chris has established.
She doesn't have cat's ears.
Huh?
She doesn't have cat's ears.
I have a question. When you get this role, what does Mr. Nolan tell you about not talking? Does he like pull you aside and say you just don't say anything, or is it sort of like
He's never said that to Michael Caine, I think.
Yeah.
Does Michael talk? Well, I've never gotten. I mean, it's sort of implied that that everything is meant to be kept as under wraps as possible. I mean, you know, the production isn't called Batman; it has another name. You know, when I first read the script, I couldn't take it home with me. I had to read it in a locked room. Maybe the room wasn't locked. I could just be adding that for dramatic effect. But you know, whatever.
How do you even learn your lines then if you can't even?
I read it through once really fast, and then I went back and went over all my scenes and kind of tried to memorize them as much as I could instantly. And then it's cool. You can call Chris and say, okay, what is this scene about again? And then eventually you get a copy of the script. But everything is done with the utmost secrecy. When I screen tested, I took the sides home with me, and it was really awkward because Jordan, the producer, had to like hunt me down and to come get the sides back so they could be destroyed. So it's implied that that this should be treated with a certain amount of respect and secrecy, which is great because I think it's so much more fun to discover it in the movie theater and there's so much anticipation about the movie. I personally am excited for people to discover it when it's all pieced together the way Chris wants it.
What has been the biggest challenge physically going into this film? I mean, what you've done so far or what you might be about to do?
Well, I had always thought I was pretty healthy, and I always thought that I was a really hard worker in the gym, and it turns out that what I thought was hard in Catwoman's world is actually like light to moderate. So I've had to just ratchet everything up. I have the most incredible stunt woman in the world, and she's really gotten me and the character to another level.
Did you say I'm Catwoman in the film at all?
Well, that's a specific.
There are some female characters in comics. Why did you want to be Catwoman when you were a kid?
I love Catwoman's sense of humor. I love how sly she is. I love the way she, to use sort of a cat metaphor, she walks a fence and you don't know which side she's going to come down on. She's totally independent. And, let's just face it, she's badass. That's pretty fun.
Tell us who your favorite Catwoman is so far.
They're all great. No, it's true. I mean, it's each Catwoman is specific. Was that handbag?
No. Halle Berry.
Well, what I was just about to say was each Catwoman is specific to the Gotham City that she lives in, and the director that that helps shape her. And so it's kind of hard to have a favorite, and I'm not just being political. It's kind of hard to have a favorite because each one's so specific and themselves. And you look back at the comic and the history of the comic, and Catwoman gets reinvented every 10 to 15 years anyway. So, I mean, you can have preferences, but the core of the character, I think, remains.
Did you look at any of them as inspiration, and did you influence the look of her?
I grew up with all of them, so I was well acquainted with the character. As I mentioned, it was, you know, she's one of my favorite characters. In the comic book world and in the movie world. So I didn't go back to any of the other ones because I'm in Chris's Gotham City. So for me, it didn't make a lot of sense to, as extraordinary a performance as Michelle Pfeiffer gave, that was Tim Burton's Gotham. So for me, that didn't make a lot of sense. And what was the second part of the question?
The look. Did you have any influence the look of her? Is there anything different? We see the goggles.
I don't know if I had any influence. I mean, probably just. I don't know. I don't know if I had any influence.
Mannerism, style, you know.
I can't talk about that. It's best. It's best. Can't talk about it.
Being that you're
After
sorry.
Bruce Wayne's loss of Rachel in the last films, does Selina's arrival in his life really affect him strongly? From a character, without specifics.
Just he was
So,
sort of.
Perhaps.
I'll ask the question that I think you can answer.
Okay.
Emma said that you guys were filming with IMAX cameras, and I'm very curious if you've been filming with those big IMAX cameras doing dialogue scenes.
We have been, yes.
What is that like? Because I know the cameras make a lot of noise, and I'm curious how you guys are working that out. Or have you not noticed that?
I've noticed the noise. It sounds like a cappuccino being made constantly. You know, the fight sequences, I actually love it because it keeps you out of your head. It keeps you kind of, I don't know, it just kind of adds to the adrenaline somehow. The dialogue scenes, I haven't shot that many of them on IMAX. I assume we're just going to ADR it later on, or that, you know, our sound guy who just won an Oscar knows what he's doing, and maybe we won't have to.
Being that you were a fan of the character beforehand, when you come into this, knowing that Chris is directing and you know that you can kind of trust him because he makes good movies, when you come into and you read the script, I mean, do you have any kind of feelings about when it doesn't connect with the Catwoman in your mind? Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with like things in the script which might not connect with what you feel Catwoman should be?
Dude, when Chris Nolan is your director, you're like, I trust that. Okay, I'm wrong. I have no problems bowing down to Chris's vision. I have loved every movie he's made. It's an honor to be in one of them, and I think that if something doesn't make sense, forcing yourself to understand it from his perspective makes you better. And he's right. I mean, it's not he's usually right. He is right.
After Christian, you're sort of the most high-profile person in the cast at this point. I mean, I guess in theory, I guess. So I mean, there's that point because basically this movie is going to be a very big part of your career because it is kind of another level, like a character who's very well known, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, Christian is Batman, and the series is the Batman series, so Christian is the star of it. But one of the things that I love about working with Christian as an actor, but also what I've loved about this franchise is that it does feel like an ensemble each time, and it's and Christian is the leader of the actors, and he's so generous with everyone and so lovely. I haven't really thought about that, to be honest.
Can you talk about sort of any fighting styles or martial arts?
That is an
styles?
awesome T-shirt.
Sue Montana.
You need to get that. Do they have that online?
Airport in Montana. I don't know if you're in the middle of Missoula, Montana.
Well, I haven't been till now, but I think I know what I'm doing with my next free weekend.
What about like martial arts styles that you've learned, or I would imagine don't you have a dance background, right? That must have come in handy too for this. So you can tell about any sort of the maybe sort of physical or martial arts disciplines you've had to learn specifically.
Sure. I mean, I don't actually. This is going to make me sound like such an airhead. Excuse me. I don't actually know the name of it. The stunt department, they're all phenomenal fighters, and so I've just been kind of trying to mimic them and doing whatever they've been telling me to do. I just came from the gym, and I was doing all sorts of, kicks, and I do a roundhouse kick. I do, oh no, I forgot the name of it already, but I snapped my foot back. Yeah. No, but it's there. It's. I think it's kind of a mixed martial arts situation, and you just asked if I've been training a lot.
No, just like the specific martial arts styles.
Well, I don't know what it's called, but I've been doing it in heels.
Nolan's never really had a badass female character before, like one who really gets
Did you
stuck
see
into the
Memento?
action. Yeah, no, she's cool. She's cool and she's strong, but she doesn't actually get stuck in with the action.
Okay,
if you think so. I mean, that's a first for him. So how does it feel to be the actress that's?
Well, I didn't realize that, and now I sort of feel a little nauseous. But it's a lot of pressure. I couldn't feel more privileged to walk on a set every day. I'm the most annoying chipper person, because every day I walk on, I just want to do backflips at how happy I am to be here. I would have played, Street Cop number 3 if it meant getting to work with Chris Nolan, and I get to play Catwoman.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, then I hope I don't let him down.
Can you talk about when you found out?
I'm sorry, we're really going to have to stop there. Sorry, on that note of nausea.
Thank you. On the note of sick. Thank you all very, very much. Thanks for putting up with my dog.
No problem.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a seat, everyone. Sorry.